Today we're going to be showing you how to replace the air conditioner condenser fan motor in your AC unit. Now a job like this requires a few tools. You're going to need a 1/4 or a 5/16 inch nut driver. You're going to need a wrench to make sure that you can get the motor nuts off the motor itself that hold it in place. You're going to need a voltmeter to make sure that the electric has been turned off to your unit properly. Additionally, if the fan blade is stuck on the motor, you're going to need a fan blade puller possibly. And if you're using an aftermarket motor, you need to have a wire stripping tool and maybe a few wiring connectors. So, let's get going. So the first thing that we need to do is turn off the power to the unit to make sure that no one gets shocked. Find the disconnect box on your air conditioner, and if you don't know where that is, you can trace back from the air conditioner the electrical line to the box. Open it up, pull out your disconnect and put it on top so that you don't lose it. Alright, now you want to get a voltmeter and you want to be sure that your voltage is off, so you'll test it down here to make sure that no one's going to get shocked. Once you're confirmed that the voltage is off, the next thing we got to do is get the fan motor top off. Now there's two types of units. Some of them have a shroud here where you can just pull off just the center here of the fan housing and flip it over. In this case, it's all built into one piece, so we're going to actually have to take off the screws all the way around the unit. So now that the screws are out of the top, we're going to take the top and give it a gentle shift. You have to remember that the wires are still wired in there, so we can't move it too far. So I took it here and shifted it. Sometimes you have enough play that you can actually flip the whole thing over. In this case, we don't. Now we're going to have to go in and trace these wires out. Wiggle one at a time and find them in your control cabinet and unwire them. Before you do this, I highly recommend that you take your phone and take a picture of the control cabinet, or take these wires and make a paper note, write down where they went, so that when you're done and you're hooking up the new one, you'll remember where they went. Now that you've got the wires out, we can flip it over. And now we've got the motor disconnected. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to do now that we have the top off of the unit is we're going to take off the fan blade. But before you do, you want to make sure that you get the fan blade in the same spot on the new motor as it was on the old motor. So I'm going to take this high end to the corner here. I'm going to take a quick measurement down to the lid. This one is 6 inches from this corner to the lid of the unit. So we're going to make a note of that so that when we get done and we put it on the new motor, we get the same dimension there. So I'm going to take and remove the set screw, or loosen the set screw rather. Clean up that shaft a little bit if you can to make sure it comes off smooth. Now, I think this one's going to come off pretty good for us, but if it doesn't, there's a couple tricks you can do. One, if it's super stuck, you might have to buy a wheel puller, such as this one. What a wheel puller does is it sits down on top here, and you use a wrench after you tighten these nuts down on the hub, and a wrench will push the shaft straight out of the fan. In this case, it dropped down on me, got a little bit tight. I'm going to just grab the shaft with the wrench and give it a little bit of a wiggle, and I think it'll come right off. Oh, look at that. We'll put that to the side, and now we have our motor. The only thing holding the motor at this point are the 4 mounting bolts on the back. So we'll take our wrench and pop those off. Now that the washers are off, we'll set it back upright. The fan motor is disconnected. We simply have to pull the wires out of the sleeve here. In this case, the sleeve came off with it, and we'll have to pull it off and put it on our new motor. Now you've got your lid, you've got your motor. Okay, now we're going to put the motor back in. In this case, since we're just simulating this, our motor wasn't bad, so I'm going to be reinstalling the same motor. So I've already put the shroud back on here, the wire guard rather, and I'm going to feed the wires through the hole in the shroud. Gently get the motor into place. There, we dropped in. And the next thing I'm going to have to do is hold it in place, raise it up, and put our nuts back on there. Remember, if you had washers, you'll want to put the washers back on with it. Go ahead and snug those down. Now be careful that you don't get these too tight. If you get them too tight, you can snap the bolt in the back of the motor. If you do, remember, you may be able to pull a bolt out of the old motor that you had and put it in the new one. Alright, so now our motor is mounted securely back in. We can put our fan on. I'm going to set the fan on. You got the flat side of the shaft that you want to make sure that you get the little lock nut on. We'll drop it down to approximately the correct distance. I'll hand tighten it. And now remember, we were 6 inches from the lid to the top. And we are about 6 inches once again. Be sure to tighten this down, and now don't worry about over tightening this bolt. Just let it drop on me there. Don't worry about over tightening this one. You don't want the fan to come loose while it's running at full RPM, that's for sure. Make sure when I dropped it, I'm still in the right spot. We are good to go. So now we'll take the assembly, the lid, put it back on the air conditioner, and get it screwed on. All right, now we've got the lid back on the air conditioner, but slightly caddied again so that we can wire it up. Now, when you pulled it out, the wires that is, you probably noticed there were a few cable ties or clips or something holding the wires in place. And you'll want to take a moment to make sure that you do put the wires back in those clips so that when the unit turns on, the fan doesn't hit your fan wire motors, excuse me, your fan wires, and cut them in half. So we'll take a second here to do that. Now, when I drop the unit and put the lid back on, it's going to drop just a little bit. After it drops, you want to be sure to pull the slack out of these wires and pull them a little bit tighter. So we'll go ahead and put the lid on. Now, I'll take a second here to tell you, some of these lids are a little bit tricky. It takes a little bit, and some people want to try to get it all around just flush before they screw it on. That's not the best way to do it. If you get one corner started, put a few screws in it so it can't pop out on you, and start working your way around. Alright, so once you get the lid back on, we'll pull that slack out of our wires if there is any left. You'll refer to your picture or your drawing to make sure that you get your wires back in the same spot. In this case, our purple went to the common on the capacitor. The brown went to the C on the capacitor. And the black went to the contactor. Okay, so we're looking pretty good here. You'll want to take, at this point, get a screwdriver, stick it through the little louvers here, and give that fan blade a spin. If you hear it clicking on anything, then you need to stop and see what it's clicking on, so that when you turn it on, you don't end up cutting or damaging something. If it spins freely and you don't hear anything, at that point, you're good to go ahead and put the control cabinet back on. Go ahead and get your disconnect. Plug it back in and see if it works. Should save yourself several $100s. So the next time your air conditioner motor goes out, don't panic, because now you know how to take care of it yourself. And remember, here at NorthAmericaHVAC.com, we can help you. We stock thousands of motors that fit almost every OEM and aftermarket application. And if you're having trouble finding your motor, don't worry, we have a knowledgeable sales staff team who can help you. Just drop us an email at info@NorthAmericaHVAC.com. They'll be happy to get back to you as quickly as they can. And be sure though that you include the brand and the model number of your air conditioner, or maybe the part number of the part that you're looking for. We'll be happy to help you out. And if you want something a little bit quicker, during the hours of 8 to 4 Eastern Time, you can click on the live chat button at the top of our screen on our homepage, NorthAmericaHVAC.com, and we'll have someone who can help you in real time get your unit and get it headed your direction so that you can be cooling once again. Thanks for watching, and good luck.